Tesla sales in China are expected to set new monthly record in August, and insider information says. And we just learned about that. Welcome back, dear friends. This is Armin Harayan from TorqueNews.com. Please subscribe to our channel for daily impartial Tesla and electric vehicle sales. So Tesla sales in China in August and in September are expected to grow and may set a new monthly record over 30,000 units despite the car maker's sluggish July sales, according to industry insiders. Last month, Tesla sales in China market plunged 69% to 8,621 vehicles from 28,138 in June, according to the China Passenger Car Association. The poor performance has drawn attention from the industry and media about whether Chinese market will give way to other markets such as Europe. Others claim that a series of Tesla car accidents in China may contribute to broad public concerns about Tesla's quality. Now, Tesla's sales drop in Chinese market was because it needs to ensure adequate supplies abroad where the demand was huge. Cui Dongshu, Secretary General of the China Passenger Car Association, told the Global Times on Wednesday, noting that Tesla needs to balance demand from both China and overseas in order to maximize global sales volume. You know that Tesla is shipping a lot of vehicles, Model 3 and Model Y, I guess, as well, to the European market while we're waiting for Giga Berlin to come into production, which I have news about that later today. Now, in addition to supplying products to China, Tesla Shanghai Gigafactory, like I said, is also responsible for the production for other markets, including Japan and Australia. In the second quarter of this year alone, Tesla exported 31,000 vehicles to China, open data shows. Due to the large demand in the US market, the construction of Tesla's Berlin factory has been delayed, leading to demand and supply in the European market faced with challenges, according to media reports. By the way, today, Tesla CEO Elon Musk is in Berlin meeting with important people, including Chancellor candidate, and I have news coming out that after this one. Tesla has defined in the China factory as its main automobile export center, which will buttress supply for the European market. But that does not mean the Chinese market is less significant to the company, which remains company's most important market in the world, said Cui. By the way, China is the largest vehicle market in the world and therefore largest electric vehicle market in the world. Here's what else Cui said. He says sales in China are expected to rebound sharply in August, greatly exceeding that of July, and could reach a record 30,000 by September, Cui predicted. Now, let's see why he says this. Global Times reports that now speaking for this we're actually, well, let me retract that. Now, record sales here, yet another interesting piece of information we have for you that came in the past 24 hours. Longtime Tesla bull ARK Invest recently identified battery cost declines as a form of good deflation that could lead to a boost in EV sales, as I spoke about electric vehicle sales. Now, Maria Merano has the details from Tesla Radi saying to support its observations, ARK Invest used the 2022 Nissan Leaf electric vehicle's price as an example. A few years ago, Nissan announced that the 2016 Leaf SV and SL variants would come standard with the 30 kilowatt-hour battery pack for an EPA-rated 107 miles of range. Nissan's suggested manufacturers' prices for the SV and SL were $34,200 and $36,700 respectively. ARK calculated that 2016 Nissan Leaf would cost $39,000 in today's dollars. This is why I'm connecting these two stories together, because the battery deflation cost is also going to help Tesla says. Now today 2020 Leaf with 40 kilowatt hour battery pack costs $27,400, $11,000 cheaper than 2016 version with an additional range of 42 miles. The Nissan Leaf's pricing reveals that it costs less to produce an electric vehicle with more mileage today than 5 years ago. This is a natural course of things in the business, friends. Battery cost declines could decrease electric vehicle production costs and improve range, which may boost electric vehicle sales in the long run. Maybe this is why people in China think things will improve also. Electric vehicle sales could lead to growth in EV market in China, in the United States, in Europe, Australia, and everywhere. In contrast to good deflation that I just spoke about, ARK also identified an example of bad deflation in the auto industry, specifically in the used car market. The investment management firm noted a decline in used car prices over the past few months, indicated by the Mannheim Used Vehicle Index. It's called MUM, the Mannheim Used Vehicle Index, while ARK Invest believes the decline in battery costs is likely to translate into lower prices, boosting electric vehicle sales. The drop in used car prices could be significant, weakening demand for traditional gas-powered cars, wrote Sam Koros in ARK newsletter. In its July 2021 publication, the Mannheim Market Report, it's called MMR, stated there were declines in prices every week last month. The used car market saw price declines accelerating through mid-July that slowed over the last 2 weeks. The MMR did not differentiate between used gas-powered vehicles or second-hand cars. However, the used car market for electric vehicles seems to be growing instead. Some countries, including the United States and Canada, are already considering tax credits and rebates for second-hand electric vehicles. That's an important news, right? That will help to increase second-hand electric vehicles if you give people rebate to buy a used electric vehicle car. So as a front runner in the latest EV revolution, Tesla seems to be leading the charge in the used car market for electric vehicles as well. After making headways in the new passenger car market, the Tesla Model 3 had become a dominant force in the used car market in countries like the United States and the United Kingdom. Now, friends, given everything discussed above, it seems both forms of deflation ARK Invest discussed suggest that electric vehicle sales will increase both in the new and used car market. More governments worldwide are readily committing to decreasing carbon emissions and transitioning to clean energy sources, which would greatly affect the future of the auto market as well. Now, since I spoke about electric battery cost deflation boosting EV sales, there is a very interesting battery news I want to share with you. Tesla claims its battery packs lose only 10% capacity after 200,000 miles. This is a big news, friends. In the latest news released as part of its impact report, the electric vehicle maker Tesla claimed that its battery packs lose only 10% of their energy capacity after 200,000 miles. I'll tell you a little bit later why Tesla considers this 200,000 miles an important stage. But Electric reports that battery degradation, which represents the loss in capacity and range over time with increasing mileage, is one of the biggest concerns of new electric vehicle buyers. Electric reports that details Tesla claim on battery pack loss, saying it's also an important part of the equation to make electric cars more sustainable. The longer a battery pack can be in operation, the longer it will keep itself from being scrapped for recycling, and the longer it can keep the whole car in operation. Tesla has sporadically released some data about its battery degradation over the years. This year, it updated stats from its Model S and Model X fleet, and it claims a battery capacity retention of roughly 90% after 200,000 miles. The data also confirms real-world reports that the degradation is steeper for the first 100,000 miles, and then it slows down and stabilizes for the next 100,000 miles. I mean, the second 100,000 miles. Tesla believes that 200,000 miles is when its vehicles get scrapped on average. Tesla's battery packs are designed to outlast the vehicle, Tesla says. We estimate that a vehicle gets scrapped after approximately 200,000 miles of usage in the United States and 150,000 miles of usage in Europe. Anybody has any guess why 50,000 miles difference of scrapping? Maybe it's the weather type in Europe. I don't know. So the data is only for Model X and Model S and Model X, which have been around for longer, but Tesla claims that the Model 3 battery packs are made to last 500,000 miles, and the automaker aims for its next generation of batteries to last 1 million miles, although it's been a while since we have heard any news about Tesla's 1 million miles. Maybe it's the 4680 batteries that will be the 1 million mile cycling battery. Well, friends, let me know what your thoughts are about August and September Tesla sales in China that I started this report with. Are you as optimistic as experts and insiders in China about Tesla sales in China? And what do you think about the battery deflation, battery cost deflation aiding to a more electric vehicle, including Tesla sales? Well, this is Armen Harayan from torquenews.com. Please subscribe to our channel, give us thumbs up, and for this report, tweet it out. I would greatly appreciate it. As you can see, I'm back in the United States. There is no scrap on my wall as I was reporting from Armenia, but that's all had been taken care of. It was just a minor thing. So I was renting that house while I was in Armenia, vacationing in my homeland. Now I'm back in the United States, and you can expect more Tesla and electric vehicle impartial reports coming every day. I plan to make from 4 to 5 reports every day, friends, God willing. This is Armen Harayan from torquenews.com. Visit us at torquenews.com for daily Tesla and electric vehicle news. Ring the bell on this report so after you subscribe so you don't miss my next coverage, and also please tweet it out and give us thumbs up if you found this report informative. I'll see you soon in our next report. God bless you, everyone, and peace be with all of you.